Well, I'm gonna clip this later, and right here, I want to ask you the question. You're speaking to the Star Atlas team. They're for sure gonna see this, at least this clip. I know they will. What do you want to see implemented into the Star Atlas game that will benefit Supernova Racing and racing in general?
Oh man, I just I would love for our league and just like I guess I'll say this,
Hmm.
our league that we're forming, it's community run. That Supernova Racing, at the moment it has the Deep Profits logo, but we're probably going to change that to encompass, the league itself.
Right.
But I want that community feel to be implemented into the game, right? I mean, I have so many different ideas of how the racing should be structured and everything, but when it comes to what I want the Star Atlas team to implement would be just in general the whole community, and if we can get this league, for example, implemented into the game somehow, whether it is through some sort of standings or rankings, or I don't know how they're going to do it, but I think it'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, and I think they will, right? I can't speak for what they're going to do, but knowing that we have 4 to 5 years of the development of the game, but also 4 to 5 years of truly building this into something special. I mean, I think it's one
Yeah.
of those things like you ask and you shall receive, and I think they will. So what kind of racing do you want to see happen? Do you want to see, same ship classes racing against each other, only the same ships racing against each other, free for all matches? What kind of maybe ship courses do you want to see? Some on land, some in space,
Yeah.
yeah, go crazy with it. Go crazy with it.
Yeah, man. I mean, we definitely have, been talking about how they're going to structure it. And I think, obviously, if you're going to have different style of ships, different racing ships involved in the same race, like obviously, there's going to be, you'd have to balance it somehow, right?
Hmm.
So that's where we think that maybe, they'll start off with the same ship style races, same models racing each other, just because it's a little bit simpler to structure it that way. But I think it'd be pretty sweet if, you can modify your own ship and just have it in the race against other ships that are completely different models. I think that'd be pretty cool as well if you can somehow incorporate that into the game, because at the end of the day, a lot of these ships are going to be modifiable, right? So, there's been, even Xcode mentioned he wants to modify the hero to race, right? Obviously, a hero against like a Thimble air bike would be kind of unfair, but if you can balance it somehow to kind of
Yeah.
create that comedic, have some comedy in it as well, I think that'd be pretty fun.
Yeah, kind of like in real racing, like in real life as well as like, you see this a lot in like Forza, right? You have different classes. You can pick any car, you can have any type of parts on it. As long as it falls in
Exactly.
that class point system, then, do whatever the hell you want and race that bad boy. I think that would
Yeah.
definitely be pretty cool. Um, what's the other thing I was
Yeah.
going to say? Go ahead.
when
Yeah.
it when it comes to like the actual races and stuff, obviously having it in deep space and having kind of like what Star Citizen and even Elite Dangerous are doing, flying through space and everything. I think that's pretty cool from the perspective of training your flight skills essentially, right? That being said, I do think that having some sort of land races where your ships are close to land and going through different landmarks would be
Hmm.
awesome as well. Like that's really cool too. Going through like caverns and flying over lakes or whatever it may be. Having limitations of how high you can fly, for example. I think that'd be awesome from like a visual perspective.
Yeah, no, 100%. And I talked about it in the Twitter Spaces that we were just in like 2 hours ago. I'm sure this clip will be seen by the team rather than that talk. But I did want to bring up and highlight what I said about racing. What I think should definitely be thought about by the team is when it comes to like viewers that actually get that want to watch these races. What
100%.
whether it's on land or it's on in space, I think it would be really cool to have designated areas that are, the race course. however it's built, it has an invisible force field around it. So, you go through your obstacles, you do your race, but obviously if you go too far out, you'll hit that wall and it's invisible. But when you hit it, it'll actually, you'll see
Yeah.
that crash and effect happen. That'll be great. But also for the viewers, I definitely think that there should be like stands and a hangar large enough for audience to come and park their ships. They land there and then they get out of their ships. They pay a toll fee. Mind you, this is all in space. It's hovering
Yeah.
hangar, and they park their ship. They pay their fee. They walk through the see-through tunnel to sit in the audience, which the stands that the audience sit in is hovering. It's just in midair, and they sit there and they can watch the race. So yeah, I don't want to take up too much time of you talking, but that is something I want
No,
to see.
100%, man. Yeah, having some sort of, racetrack that has like the stands involved in it where, you can have bets being placed and,
Yes.
flying through and like having like, kind of like, influenced by Star Wars and having all these little creatures, in the stands cheering you
Yes.
on and everything, and like having an announcer, announcing the race. I think that'd be sweet. And I don't know, we touched on it in your Twitter space too, but like,
Hmm.
having an idea of, having some sort of drone attached to each ship or some sort of way for
Yes.
a drone to film these races and have them, you know, um, depicted into like this big screen above the
Yep.
stands where, people can even, park their ships into it and just kind of view the race from the screen as well would be pretty sweet.
Yes, we need that. And then we need somebody like Atlas Theory and the Hollywood team, right? To be the
100%.
announcers, and so they're up in the up in the
Yeah.
skybox, and they're announcing the races and stuff like that. And that's going to be in a career itself. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I love like hype and everything too. So just having, the announcers and then having, before each race, for example, all the actual racers and their teams having their own like maybe little mini intro to the
Hmm.
race, being like, I don't know, here is Moon Man, and then like just having like your character pop up in the car or something and like
Right.
drive up to the line or something. I think would be sweet as well.
Yeah, that would be dope. That would be dope. And this race is brought to you by Supernova Racing.
Yeah.
you know
Yeah,
um
yeah, yeah.
Crypto Sonic. I don't know, we're just
Ready
having fun
Player
with
One
it.
style, man. Just like having go the full length and just make like sweet intro videos, announcers, huge stands of fans where you can place bets. I think that'd be pretty sweet. I think it could definitely be a great way to create some friendly rivalries between guilds and a fun
Hmm.
way to kind of, um, get the ego up of some and it's just bragging rights at that point.
Hell yeah. And Pink Slips, playing for keys. Have
100%.
some type of mode where we can people can put their ships on the line, and empty out that bank account, if it gets too crazy.